and living here in Las Vegas. How's everyone doing
Okay.
tonight?
Just wanted to have a quick chat with you about. We met in a video game when we were in high school. I
Quake
mean, we
3.
were in the same school. That's right.
Quake 3 for Dreamcast. We had a mutual friend a while back, Zoheb, and he just I was trying to connect with him, and he had happened to have you as a friend on there because you guys met each other earlier on in high school, and it was a 4-player match, me, you, and him, and someone else, and that's the first time I ever interacted with you digitally in a game. Didn't hear your voice, never met you physically, but there you were, just trying to kill me in Quake 3. That's
Dude,
crazy.
I know that was the first console that had online multiplayer internet.
But
Console-wise.
I don't think I even mentioned it to you. Like, I did have the Dreamcast version, but I wasn't even playing on Dreamcast. I modded my PC version to play with you guys on from my PC version to Dreamcast.
Dude, that is crazy. So then
I don't think I ever even yeah.
Was the first, not only the first console with internet and for multiplayer, but it was the first console to have cross-platform.
Yeah, no one.
PC.
I don't think people picked up on that, but there was a way, and it was created by ID, anyways. The company that makes Quake, Doom, and all those companies to play against Dreamcast players. And I found it immediately, and that's how I met you because I was not using my Dreamcast to play against you guys. I forgot.
Right.
And I'm not gonna lie, because of that, I think I had a few advantages because I was on PC. Did you have a keyboard mouse?
That's what I was gonna say, dude. The reason I was freaking dominating everyone and I was dominating Zohabe, and he was like, "Dude, Harry's a legend. You got to play Harry. He's so good." Is because I actually hooked up a keyboard and mouse. I think Dreamcast sold one, or I hooked one up. I forgot, but I remember I had a keyboard and mouse on the Dreamcast, and I was just completely destroying people until I met you on there, and we had some freaking crazy bouts.
We had some crazy matches, and it wasn't real. You know what? And that was the only time I really interacted with you freshman year of high school. We're talking about 16 years ago.
Right.
You know what I mean, bro? Like 2000. 2000,
right.
Bro. 2000.
Right.
You know what I mean? I never interacted with you or like talked to you much till you were in my science class sophomore year, and then we started working at McDonald's together.
Right.
And then no, that's really how it went. And then it was sophomore into junior year, we started hanging out and we played, we're working at McDonald's, and then you came over and we played a lot of Super Nintendo games. Remember that?
Right. Did you have those as ROMs on your computer?
Yeah. No, not just computer. Remember, we had those huge ROM packs, and we loaded them on our old Xboxes, the first Xbox. Remember?
Right. That was when everybody was modding Xboxes.
The original Xbox soft mod. You didn't have to do a chip or anything. It's just a soft mod. You're able to play practically any Super Nintendo ROM or a lot of different things on there. And we played...
Dude.
We went through hours and hours and hours on end of playing different Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis games. Remember that? Like, we're playing through that one game. What is that? Like, Off-Road? Remember we played that for hours?
Oh, right. The dirt track with the cars. You just go around and around.
Yeah.
That was a classic, man.
I think
the thing that really was awesome is that it really brought us back to our childhoods. Even though we're in high school, 14 years old, but it's still, even at that age, it's nice to feel like before school, before you had obligations, where you could just play.
We played a lot of hours of Mario Kart, the N64 version. Do you remember that?
That is one of the most frustrating games.
That is one of the most frustrating games. I think on this channel, we need to do a playthrough of all 4 cups on N64. Like, we need to do a whole playthrough, the Grand Prix on 150 class, and just I mean, it's going to be high blood pressure. We're already in our 30s. But,
dude, I remember I got that game taken away from me when I was a kid because I was swearing so much. Fuck you, Donkey Kong.
I used to get so mad at Donkey Kong too. Like, I would pick on him even if he was really in last place. Like, I would just see him on the track, like he'd be struggling. He'd either be struggling or he'd be on you the whole time. Like, he'd be like your biggest enemy. You know what I mean?
Right.
And like,
right.
I don't know. Like, I think the game purposely, like, if you're Mario or Luigi, Donkey Kong's gonna antagonize you. If you're someone's like, I mean, I think it's a little bit random, but for me, Donkey Kong always gave me problems. I think I was just naturally mad at Donkey Kong all the time. But
Dude, it was Donkey Kong or Bowser, and back then that was before they had all the crazy stuff they have now, where you can have gliders and go underwater. But back
yeah.
then, the big guys, when they bumped you, they could actually spin you out from
They could
contact.
not just spin you out; they can actually just blow you off the course without a
Right.
star. That was the most
Right.
frustrating thing. You remember that? Come on, you'd be on Rainbow Road, and like you just got dropped off the track. Like you know how what that guy picks you off and picks you off the track and puts you back on the track, and like
Yep.
you know you're just accelerating, and Bowser comes flying by, whacks you off the road.
Oh, dude. What about when the cloud guy, he drops you back on the track and you're holding gas and then you just spin out because you were holding the gas too early?
That'd be frustrating, especially as a little kid. Like you know, you don't think about these things like. You don't think about these things like, you know, you think, oh, I'm going to get going as soon as possible by holding the gas.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? But, you know, as an adult, you think about it, well, if you hold the gas, you're going to burn out. You know what I mean? So,
Right,
you think about that. We learn those concepts from Mario Kart when we get into our real cars. Like, you hold your gas in the wrong time, you're going to burn out.
Yep. If only we knew that back then before we got into cars.
Oh man, we had such a history with games, and we have so much to talk about. Like you think about it, Harry. When we started playing games, it started with Quake, and then when we first started hanging out, it went to Super Nintendo. I remember that first day you came to my house. We went straight to Super Nintendo ROMs. Boom, boom, boom. Then we started playing a lot of Halo. Remember that? Hours and hours on end. Like this is before Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo 4, Halo 5, and all those big ODST everything. No, this is Halo 1. Like, you know, Halo 1 where there's no online play. You have to do LAN play, LAN parties. Remember the huge LAN parties we'd have with all our friends? We'd hook up 4 Xboxes.
Dude, that was freaking epic. In a lot of ways, that was better than just online because we were all there. We would go out for food or have food at the house. That was awesome. 2 TVs, 4 screens on each TV.
We go up to 4 TVs with 4 each, and we'd have 16-player battles. You know, a bunch of people crowded around. Like, we had these huge LAN parties in high school with all our friends. And, I mean, we continued it on till later. But, you know, thankfully, when we graduated already, you know, Xbox Live came out. And Halo 2 introduced online play, which made it a lot easier to interact and play online. You have to admit that.
Right. Yeah.
Just remember those old school days of just sitting down and Halo 2. You and I never really played Perfect Dark, which I think you and I should do a playthrough. Perfect Dark for N64. Take a note of that. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
That's one of the first in shooters you can have split screen co-op. But you and I, our first tackle on split screen co-op was Halo. Remember?
Right. And the first Halo, I think, in a lot of ways, was the best. It was the most groundbreaking for its time. I mean.
Oh yeah. I mean.
That was unlike anything else.
It was a movie.
It was, and for me, before that, prior to that, I would say hands down the best first-person shooter was GoldenEye.
Yeah. Oh no!
Talking about all-time classics.
Yeah.
But Halo was the next GoldenEye, and it brought it to a whole new level, dude. Complete
different level. I mean, you had characters, you had cinematics. Like, I mean, Halo was remember going to the store? I want you to think about this: walking into GameStop, EB Games, whatever it was back then, like even Best Buy back then. Think about it. Like, you walk into that store and you look at Halo. It's just it just looks like your typical shooter. Like, you don't really think much of it. It's just a guy, Halo Combat Evolved, and he just pointing his gun at the screen. Like, I didn't think much of it. I'm like, it's another Halo. It's an Xbox release game. It's just one of those games. You probably just buy it and play it. Like, we played shooters. Like, we played Quake, we played Doom. We played a bunch of shooters growing up. So I didn't think much of it. Then we bought it, and that thing changed everything. Like, the first of us to own it was Arwen, then Dan, and then myself. And then I remember joining you in it. Like, Halo changed everything.
Dude, I remember after I played that, I went to GameStop and sold my GameCube.
You did. I remember
that was the time of swapping and all that
pre-sales, all that. I remember specifically in high school, you were sitting with me there, like, I had the PlayStation 3 version of Tony Hawk, and I asked you, like, remember you had the GameCube version of Tony Hawk 3. Remember that, Harry?
Yep.
That conversation.
That's right.
With Mrs. Mettler's science class. All you and I did to talk about video games. I was like, how is the version of it, like, for GameCube? And you said, It looks. I think it looks better than the PlayStation 3 or PlayStation 2 version at that time.
Right.
We're at the PlayStation 2 times. And I think it did look better too. But then I guess, everyone started shifting towards Xbox, and GameCube kind of got shelved a bit. You know what I mean?
Yep, I'll agree with that.
You and I did, though, go back to GameCube a bit for Mario Kart Double Dash. Remember that?
Oh, that was so worth it, man. That was
crazy.
So worth it.
But I know you remember this, and this is probably going to happen if we do. We're going to, you know what, Harry, on this channel, we have to do playthroughs on Mario Kart. It could make us not friends for a little bit, but we got to remember we're adults.
Right.
There were times we played Mario Kart, and things got so serious that we didn't really talk to each other. You think about that. Think about that. We're in high school, a little immature.
Oh, man.
I'll never forget, like, I might have hit you off the course. I look at you, you don't really seem to want to talk to me. I'm like, man, it really got kind of serious. You know what I mean? Like, Double
man.
Dash. Everything.
Isn't
like
that funny? Yep.
I remember you told me that we never really got into Madden or any of the sports games, but you told me specifically you actually didn't even some of your friendships got hurt by Madden.
Right. When I was younger, yeah.
Yeah, like, we got to go through and have a few playthroughs on that. Any of these listeners, any of you guys out there, leave comments below on what games you want to see Harry play through. I'm going to join him. H2 and I will play through whatever games.
Oh, boy.
You know what I mean? Whatever games anyone says, we're going to probably try a few we have in mind, but, the feedback of the people is very, very important. So, in the comments below, just leave whatever game you think we should play through.
Right, there we go.
I think we should play through games we never played through before. You ever play Undertale?
Oh, dude. No, I haven't.
You should play through it. And you know what?
I haven't even heard of that.
It's an independent game. It's an indie game that went huge. On YouTube, the London Symphony Orchestra went and did a rendition of some of their music, I think.
Wow.
And this game was made by a guy who's 5 years younger than us.
Wow.
Yeah. You never played Earthbound, did you?
No, I never got a chance. I remember you were playing it, and you always wanted me to play it, but I never got to it.
That definitely is a game you need to play through. If if anything, I'll sit through and I'll play through it with you. Definitely a game you got to play through. Resident Evil, we definitely have to play through Resident Evil, our own playthrough on Resident Evil.
Did you see the new Resident Evil that's coming out?
That's crazy how it's evolved so much. I remember it was
it's like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's like you're in a house with like cannibals or like psychos.
It's a mixture between like the way they have it now. They took elements of Walking Dead. Think about that.
Right.
They took elements of what's that game like? Do you want to play a game? What's that movie where do you want to play a game? What's that movie again?
Oh, dude, I'm drawing a blank.
Saw.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay.
Saw. They have elements of Saw, elements of. They're taking elements of modern horror movies. You know what I mean? And then they have that whole first person reality view on everything, like Blair Witch Project. Everyone's just trying to come up on that.
Right.
Which Resident Evil's played with a few different genres. They went to shooters. They went to tank controls. It's an interesting take. I can't wait. We should play through that, though. That definitely would be something fun. A scary game, because you and I are easily startled.
Yep, absolutely. But the thing is, we have to play at night with the lights out, because that adds so much to it.
Definitely. Anyone listening, leave comments below. What scary game do you want us to play? What scary game do you want to see us get freaked out at? Harry and I do not do well with scary games. We never really played through too many. So when we did, it was scary.
Oh, dude, I remember my mom would bust in the door. What's going on? Because I'd be screaming at Resident Evil 2. Raccoon City, when you're just going through the hallways and it's like you're solving puzzles and everything's quiet, and then arms just break through the windows.
Or the liquor is just crawling on the wall above you, and you're just wondering what the hell's going on.
Oh, dude, I'll never forget that game because of those moments. That was great video game moments.
What's your favorite Super Nintendo game, Harry? Think about it.
Favorite Super Nintendo game? Oh, man. I would have to say Mario Kart, as much as it frustrated me.
Yeah, me too. It
I
gave me
had
high blood
as
pressure as a
many
kid.
good times as many bad times and frustration. I had much more amazing times,
It was a great game, dude. Like,
dude.
oh man, I'll never forget our gaming marathons, and then we're going back like a decade and a half ago. Like our gaming marathons were like 15 years ago. With
Right.
double cheeseburgers, McChickens, fries, and McNuggets everywhere, just eating our
The
asses
food of
off and playing games.
champions.
Food of
Food of
champions.
champions.
Um, what's we definitely racing games here. We played a lot of other than Mario Kart. We played a lot of Forza.
Oh, dude, we'll have to get into that in the next video.
We never really did much Gran Turismo because we weren't PlayStation people.
That's an entire video on itself.
Yeah, we definitely need to talk about some of that.
Yeah.
But you were into Sega Genesis though, right?
Yeah, I was Sonic.
I love Sonic. Sonics were
Yep.
all the Sonic, especially Sonic 3 mixed with Sonic and Knuckles. That was my favorite one.
Oh man, dude, Knuckles was the shit back then.
Of course. But you know how I beat a bunch of the levels? I would have my friend Mike control Tails.
Beat Tails? I knew it. Yep, that's right. I used to do that too. Yeah.
I think we need to do a playthrough of Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and we take turns being Tails.
I think that was a good move on Sega's part because Mario didn't have that, right? Where you could have a friend jump in and help you out.
No, you just could take turns beating levels, but you'd never have a friend.
Right.
Just
that was for its time. That was great.
Oh, that was great because, even in Sonic 2, Tails can't lose rings. Tails can't get hurt. Tails could die, but he comes right back. You know what I mean? So you put Tails on the front line. That's all. That's it. You put him on the front line. And you could control him in Sonic Adventure 2, but it's just in a 3D world, it was really hard.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh, man.
There's so much potential to that. But, leave your comments down below. What crazy, Sega Genesis game you want us to play. We're going to get on, and start playing some playthroughs here. Give this channel a few more playthroughs, some different things, different opinions. Harry will be up with the tips and tricks on GTA and a few different things. Just keep things moving.
Yep. And this was a great intro. Thanks for coming on, James.
No problem,
I know
Harry.
you're busy. I know you're traveling the world, but
I'll make time to work with you, man.
Time for video games.
Oh, yeah. Gaming is life. Thank you, everybody.
All right. Okay. We'll continue this on the next one.
All right.
All right. Peace.
Peace out, Harry.